This is the primary or preliminary section of researching. And what I want you to do is create two brilliant little images of yourself, one on each shoulder. And one little version of yourself that is brilliant asks you the question, did you prove it? And the other little brilliant you says, wonderful. Did you document the proof? Yes. So instead of just saying tons of people, lots of people, many people, we want to be specific. The more specific you are, the more proof you give to your opinions. And that's what's missing in some of the information that's currently out in the world, is that there's no documentation for statements that are made. So we are going to be brilliant, and you are going to conduct actual research to prove your ideas to be legitimate. Now, I know you say, well, that just sounds fine and dandy, but where do I even start? Well, we start with the topic. And after I write down the topic, then I write down what do I need to prove, and that gets me started. Let's show an example. You'll see this example later on in this page of reading materials. Let's say I want to write about homelessness in California. So the little brilliant person on my left says, okay, what do we need to prove? Well, we need to have a definition. What exactly do I mean by homelessness? There's sheltered, there's unsheltered, there's people who live in their cars, there are people who live in our, exactly what do we mean by homelessness? So I know I'm going to have to go out and research and find a definition of homelessness. What else am I going to need to learn? Think a second. That's right. My list includes a definition. How many are there in the entire United States? That's a deductive approach. And now we're going to narrow the focus. How many are in California? Narrow it further. Where in California are they primarily located? Next, who are the people? What's the demographics? How did they become homeless? What is the history of California homelessness? 3 viable solutions, obstacles to those solutions, current measures. That's my entire essay. From here, it's just a quick leap to creating an outline for the essay. And when I find this information, I just pop it into the outline. Want me to show you how that outline looks real quick? Okay, I will. Okay, here we go. Here's our questions, and now we're going to go down here and create the outline where the answers to that research is going to go. Number 1, introduction. We're going to start with deductive. What's the U.S. homeless? A brief definition of what homelessness is defined as by HUD. Homelessness in California. 3 proposed solutions, just the list. This is going to be our thesis statement, because our essay is talking about these 3 proposed solutions, and then a transition to the definition section. This section of the essay will be more than 1 paragraph. And this section of the essay is going to define to our reader exactly what we needed to prove. What is that clear definition in detail? Remember, I referenced that right up here in the introduction, but now I need to expand on that. Next, charts, graphs, information, statistics about what homelessness has been in the last decade. Who are the homeless people? What's the demographic? Of course, you can see that the definition is going to be 1 or 2 paragraphs. The statistics is going to be another paragraph, paragraphs between 8 and 9 sentences. Who are the homeless people? That's a whole different paragraph, isn't it? Doesn't have to do with the graphic, has to do with who they are as people. How did they become homeless? Of course, we know that there are many reasons. However, for this essay, we're only going to use the rule of 3, 1, 2, 3 of the top reasons, all documented in evidence that we've researched. What are the 3 top solutions? Briefly, 1, 2, and 3. And then we have a little transition sentence that takes us into solution number 1. And we're going to use the same formula for each of the proposed 3 solutions. What is it? Who proposed it? The effectiveness of it, obstacles, legislation, plans for the future, my opinion, this is what makes it an argument essay, my opinion based on the research, and then transition to number 2. What is this going to be? That's right, proposed solution number 2. Same exact formula. And then we're going to have this next section of the essay. And what's that section going to be? Hint. I know, I'll be right back. That's right. This is solution number 3. What is it? Who proposed it? And so forth. Now we're going to go to the transition to the conclusion. Now you say, okay, this is where I'm done. This is where I'm done. I'm just going to do this and call it done. And I'm done. No, 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 because you're going to get down to that conclusion and go, now what am I supposed to do? I've already said everything, so what am I supposed to do? That's why we go ahead and when we research information and we copy and paste that information, and you can see that explanation of how I wrote the Woodstock essay as well as the one on training day in the video tutorial library. You can see those examples. How I took information and I popped that information in various places in the outline. So this is what the conclusion would look like when we completed that. Okay, so I've said that a paragraph is 8 or 9 sentences. It does not need to be a rambling thing. So we already have our conclusion written, planned, before we ever even start researching. So as I research the essay and I find some nugget that I really like, I can go ahead and put that in the conclusion. So when I get to this point, the conclusion is already written. And we have let's say 2 sentences there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9. And then we end with a nice little heartfelt quote. You see how neat that is? That's all primary research in asking myself what questions need to be answered, and then organizing where the answers to those questions will go. Fun fact, you don't have to do this by yourself. I will help you. We can have a Zoom session and I will zoom in there and help you create this preliminary primary research. That concludes this tutorial.